All right, guys, I am super excited to be here with Dani. I don't want to start that way. This is why I edit all my videos.
I love it.
It's just really good.
Dude, Whitney and I don't because we don't know how to do any of this.
Yeah, well, I do this all the time. It's different when someone else is here. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Chloe and I'm here with Dani, and I'm going to introduce her in a second, but I'm so excited that you guys clicked on this video because Dani is a wealth of information. I met Dani when I was 14 years old and I was really suffering with my eating disorder. Definitely very emaciated, really fighting against food, fighting against my body, and Dani was this like nutritionist and I was always like, oh, I want to be you. I want to do the things that you're doing, but, and we'll dive into this. I took it too far and I went very orthorexic and yeah. But anyways, she found me on Instagram the other day.
Yeah.
Randomly.
Yeah.
And she's still in my hometown. And the work that she's doing is amazing. And we had such a just like awesome conversation on the phone about like veganism and, prenatal health and women's health and all of that. And so I'm super excited to just dive in. I'm just gonna let her sort of introduce herself here to let you know sort of what she does. So Dani, take it away.
Sounds great. Hi, ladies. Chloe, thank you. Love being here. Love reconnecting with you. Love seeing you look so unbelievably healthy. Oh my gosh, ladies, if you are following, look at her. I can't even. Wow. Yeah, I'm Dani. So I am a nutrition consultant. I've been in practice, gosh, almost 8 years now. 5 of those years I spent in clinical practice working in pediatrics. So from there, I want to talk about how I actually ended up now specializing in perinatal care, which is essentially looking at the 2 years before you conceive, the year of your conception, pregnancy, and then the first 3 years of baby's life. And that's where I hone in all of my care, and it's just my specialty and my heart's desire to work with women that are wanting to make babies and raise them well.
And so I wanted to have her on here because I can't tell you how many women I work with who are like young 22-year-olds, 23-year-olds, and they're like, I don't care that I don't have my period. I don't care that I'm starving myself. I don't care that I'm over-exercising. And unfortunately, they go to their like gynecologist and they're like, oh, we'll just put you on the pill and then we'll take you off and do IVF when you're ready to get pregnant. Well, I also work with the 30-year-olds who are like, shoot, I can't get pregnant and I'm infertile because of all the dieting and everything that I've been doing. So anyways, if you're wondering like, why did I have someone talking about pregnancy on here? I think this is really correlated because pregnancy or not, wanting to be a mother or not, our bodies were designed to. And so we can't just like not have a period. I'm jumping the gun here a lot, but hopefully this makes sense to you guys why I'm wanting to have her on here.
And it's really, I mean, it is 2 years before, and it could be 3, it could be 5. The preparation before you even think about having a baby is what I'm here to tell you is the most important time, literally, of all of it. I have worked with countless women who, like Chloe said, they realize even, oh, my IVF didn't even work. It didn't work twice. It didn't work 3 times. Now I'm as burnt out and as hopeless as I have ever felt before, really, honestly, in my life. And I have seen those women get pregnant. I have worked with them. They conceive naturally. They carry their babies full term. They nurse. It can be beautiful. We just need to know what women need to be eating. We need to know about specific supplementation. We need to know how to help support their bodies before the process of conception even begins.
Yeah, and you're saying 2 years. You should be focusing on your nutrition before you get pregnant. I would say from my sort of standpoint as someone who deals with eating disorders, that for someone who is dealing with an eating disorder, if you've been in energy debt for a long period of time, even just like a year or 2 years, but especially those of you who, you know, had an eating disorder when you're 14 and now you're 24, that's 10 years of not eating enough. I would say that process is definitely going to at least be bumped up to 3, 4, maybe, like you said, 5 years of nutrition and rehabilitating your body before you can get pregnant for not only your health, but the health of the baby.
Yes. You want an extraordinary, healthy baby. You do not just want a baby, ladies. You also don't want a miscarry or multiple miscarriages. These are awful experiences for women. So we have the same message. We want women to prepare. way before they're even actually thinking about it, which seems really odd. But it's not like you're daily, like, doing baby care. You're just changing the way that you're eating, the way that you're thinking about food, the way that you're thinking about your body, the way that you're thinking about your future and the years that are to come, right?
Yeah.
So, go ahead.
No, go. Just tell us a little bit more about your work, and then I want to dive into like what are those nutritional mistakes that a lot of women are making, because that was the thing that we really were like, yes. Like, we were really excited about that.
Yeah. What we found too is we work with the same women, which is so cool. But I want to talk about how I ended up there, because prevention is beautiful and it's really easy and it's simple, and going backwards when you're really sick is really difficult. A lot of healing. And I went through my own healing. I was chronically constipated, every digestive issue you could possibly imagine through all of college. I had seen 13 specialists. I dropped out of school. I was at Stanford Hospital. I mean, I was seeing the best of the best, and I'd exhausted Western medicine, and they said, sorry, go home and live with it. I was 20 pounds thinner than I am now.
Wow.
I had the most frail hair. I was so pale. I had no color or life in my face, dark, sunken eyes. And I said, this isn't life and this isn't living and this is not how I'm going to live. And my family took me and we went to see a naturopathic doctor. And for the first time ever, I'm exposed to probiotics or enzymes or gut healing foods. I mean, you're probably like, we know all about that. And it was a game changer. It literally saved my life. I've never been more passionate about any topic than nutrition since then.
So this is great, because I think in the eating disorder sphere, we tend to see food as the enemy. Food is here to make me fat. Food is here to make me ill, to give me heart disease, to whatever it is, especially when you get into orthorexia. You start really looking into how bad food is. But here you are being like, I was healed because I started eating good food. Yes. And that's so important. That was a big part of my journey, was understanding, like, going from a raw vegan and understanding how healing eating some lamb chops were. Like, that was the most healing food I could eat.
Yes.
And yet I was so fearful of food my whole life, but not understanding that, like, that's part of life. We have to eat food. We have to, that is part of living.
Yep.
And to be against this thing that gives us life is not the best route.
Yes. And health and wholeness and happiness and joy. I mean, there's so much that comes from food. It's so beautiful. But so because of my experience, I was passionate about working with kids, because I got sick at the end of high school and I wanted to work in pediatrics. That's why I spent 5 years in clinical practice with peds, because I knew what I went through was preventable. When I was able to look back at my journey and go, oh, that happened there, that happened there, that happened there. Why didn't someone say this instead? Why didn't someone tell me about this instead? Why didn't I go see this kind of practitioner or this kind of specialist instead? So I ended up working in a private clinic. It was such an amazing experience. I saw hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of kids over my 5 years there. And I had to go backwards, because I started to see what I had seen even in my early 20s was preventable. What I was seeing in peds was preventable in toddlers. Catch these kids early. Help their guts early. Take the little symptoms. Don't ignore them. Don't wait till it's a big blowout later. Then from toddlers, I went to infants. Then from infants, I was like, I have to see every newborn and get them on probiotics right away. Get mom on the most nutrient-dense diet while she's nursing. These postpartum depressed moms are so depressed later. They crash so hard later. Let's help them the minute baby comes out. Let's give them all the support that we can nutritionally, proper supplementation, adequate supplementation. Let's give them emotional support, the rest that they need, the healing that they need in that time. And then from there, yes, all the way even to working with them before they were even pregnant, because I knew that that was where we were going to have the biggest impact, the most lasting impact. And the outcome that I saw was just a few years of extraordinary healthy kids, happy moms, joyful postpartum experiences, both of them thriving. So I'm very passionate about what I do.
Yeah. So let's dive into this, Dani, because as you're saying here, okay, so you're working with people to make sure that they have good, healthy kids. You were explaining to me on the phone how there's so many women who are coming to you guys and they are infertile, or they're dealing with a lot of issues, a lot of pain. They're just unhealthy in and of themselves. I want to start diving into some of the most common nutritional deficiencies you're seeing with these people.
Yes.
The most common sort of diet fads that they're doing that are leading to this sort of ill health. We talked a lot about, having people who have a past of eating disorders finally getting pregnant and that experience. So let's dive into this whole realm here.
I love it. I love how you said nutrition mistakes, because that's just honestly the best way to make it. I think when you expose women to what's true and you give them adequate information, then they're like, oh shoot, I've been doing this. And infertility is one of the biggest issues that I think that women and couples struggle with now. And I've seen women with 7 years, no period, 13 years, no period. I myself did not have a period at all while I was going through my chronic illness. Obviously, you guys are hearing and learning about Chloe's journey of no period. And yet I get mine back and I never don't have it again. Chloe's having hers. All these women, all of them that I work with have normal ovulation and normal menstruation. We have tools to balance our hormones. So
maybe we can dive in a little bit here, because you are the expert. You're really working in this field here. What is just quickly some of the biggest concerns about not having that period?
Yes. One, when you ovulate and menstruate, you're dropping calcium into your bones. So one of the major long-term effects is the osteoporosis. But when you get osteoporosis in your 50s and your 60s, it was about your 20s, ladies. It was about your 30s. It could be about your 40s, but it's about your 20s. It's about your 30s. And every month this process is happening when you're having a period. And it's absolutely essential in every way. You need hormones also for brain, for normal neurochemistry. Your serotonin levels and your GABA levels, everything is related to your progesterone and your estrogen levels. So you have this vicious cycle of crazy anxiety and OCD and food control when your hormones are so low as well.
That's what's really cool is how much, so for me personally, going from a vegan diet and being stuck in my eating disorder and then coming out of it and eating a very wholesome animal product based diet was my energy and the level of like sort of groundness I felt. I went from like being up here totally anxious all the time, really just my head was in the sky. I literally was just, I always felt sort of on edge, and then now I'm just so like, I'm so at ease, and that came by switching my food to being more grounding foods. With the whole brain stuff, a lot of people don't recognize that eating disorders, energy debt, not having the period, it's not even just the bones, it's not the infertility, the increased risk for Alzheimer's, Parkinson's disease, MS, it actually wears down your myelin and sheath, which is this thing that covers your neurons, fat that covers your neurons, that helps your neurons speedily, communicate with each other. So if you don't have enough myelin and sheath, then what's going to happen is those neurons are now taking a longer time to fire, which is what's creating a lot of these sort of neuromuscular issues. So it's a huge issue, and that's going to be from not eating enough fat in your diet. And I mean, we'll get into all this.
Nutrition mistake, not enough fat. Not enough fat. I go over it all day long. Not enough cholesterol. All day long. Every single woman, it's often even both parties. I definitely preconception care look at both parties. Both him and her involved need to be taking care of their bodies and doing all the proper preconception care. Low cholesterol level in blood work is what I've seen in almost every single one of them. We're talking hundreds of couples of infertility that I have worked with. Low
Wait a
cholesterol
minute,
levels.
but Dani, isn't cholesterol so bad? Don't we want to stay away from cholesterol? All the vegan doctors I listen to, Dr. McGregor, Dr. Esselstyn, all of those people are telling me that cholesterol is the devil and I don't want to eat it.
Yeah, no, it's every mom's greatest fear. It's every husband's greatest fear. And then when I put back their butter and their steak and their baked potato, then they're the happiest campers ever. But the myelin sheath, the cells in our brains are all fat. They're literally more fat than they are anything else. That's why Alzheimer's, dementia, Parkinson's, all these other things are very correlated with low fat and low cholesterol diets. We should be concerned about where the cholesterol is coming from. We want healthy sources, grass-fed meat, grass-fed butter, grass-fed ghee. We don't want the conventionally raised products that have higher bad saturated fats. And it is same with egg yolk. We want to be getting the good sources of the stuff. But our heart as well uses fats and cholesterol as a primary source of fuel. Yeah. So this whole heart attack, this whole thing that all came out of the 80s is bogus, honestly. And I see kids with ADD, ADHD, and autism. We look at their blood. I'm talking you the same thing, low cholesterol levels. How is their brain supposed to develop? How are they supposed to make neurotransmitters? How are they supposed to learn? How are they supposed to develop their speech with low cholesterol levels? The immune system also in children is so depleted by low cholesterol. Autoimmunity is also related to low cholesterol. I've seen this across the board. It's a classic case. Mom with low cholesterol is going to have baby with low cholesterol. Mom with low cholesterol is lucky that she got pregnant, if she did. Mom with low cholesterol is going to be totally the classic postpartum depressed and anxious mom.
Depleted. You're depleted after.
Extremely depleted.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's just funny. I'm like cracking up because the things that we're told to do for the sake of our health or for our weight are some of like the worst things for us in terms of our actual like longevity and well-being.
Literally.
I'm just laughing because I'm thinking at how I used to eat rice cakes with like, I wouldn't even want to spread like avocado on there because it was too much fat, let alone butter or cheese or anything like that. So I would eat like plain rice cakes with maybe some like low-fat hummus on it or something like that.
Yeah.
And I'm just thinking like how many women are doing that for the sake of quote unquote their health, thinking that they are really doing something right, but in reality, we're straying away, all these things like rice cakes and things like that, we're straying away from the foods that we, evolutionarily speaking, are meant to be eating. I mean, think about it back years and years ago. What was that person, that woman, that village in, Sardinia, Italy, what was she eating? Was she eating the rice cakes? Was she eating puffed cereal? Was she eating low-fat yogurt? No. Or cashew
never.
yogurt. No. Every single day, they're waking up, they're having their like good, healthy, whole-fat yogurt and milk and cheese and butter.
All of it. Having all of it.
Yeah, all of it. And the sardines and the lamb
and the egg yolk.
The egg yolk. Exactly.
Many of them. Many.
There were no egg whites. There were no egg whites back then. We were eating all this stuff. So then we come into this sort of day and age where there's so much nutritional confusion, and all of a sudden we're saying that all these foods that we have been built eating. I typed into Google the other day. It was really funny. This was for a client because she was like, well, I don't believe like eggs are good for us. So I typed into Google, like, how long have humans been eating eggs? 7 million years, guys.
Beginning of time.
7 million years that we've been eating eggs. I think this is something that we need. And to just do this experiment, I'm really talking about veganism here now, doing this like vegan experiment of just like taking away all of these foods that we have been nourishing ourselves on for civilizations, is going to, you have to understand that it's going to lead to deficiencies and to risk for your health.
In yourself, starting, and then your children. If you don't have it, they're not going to have it when you're carrying. And I want to say something as we hit on this, vegan vegetarianism directly on the head right now. I started in practice seeing numerous children sick again and again and again and again. The same kids were there constantly. They were on antibiotics over and over again because they can't beat the most simple cold. I started to realize 2 years in that the sickest kids I could look at in the entire practice of the hundreds were the ones that had moms who were vegetarians the longest. And that's why looking now, early, in your early 20s, getting your recovery on track is the best thing that you can do. Because those nutritional deficiencies that have been going on for a long time need a long time to do a lot of healing.
Yeah. So we discussed fat and how important that is. So what type of fats am I missing? What type of fats should I be adding in?
Yes.
Because here I do want to say, guys, and this might be where I sort of differ from a lot of people in the eating disorder realm, is they sort of go for like, eat any and everything, and like eat the Cheerios for breakfast, eat, the cake, eat all this, which yes, 100%, don't get me wrong, we need to neurally rewire this obsession with having to eat clean. We need to learn that it's okay if we have the pizza, it's okay if we have the cereal in the morning. But I'm also for nutritionally rehabilitating, which is all about feeding your body this good, healthy nutrition. There is an obesity epidemic. There is an increase in cancer. There is an increase in diabetes. I'm not turning a blind eye to that and just pretending it doesn't exist, because I know that's a lot of your guys' fears. What I am trying to say is that, one, a lot of the foods that we've been told, like the meat, the butter, and the eggs, are the cause for diabetes and heart disease, needs to be really questioned, because that science actually isn't really there. And again, those are foods we've been eating for a long time. And maybe we should start looking at the trans fats, the hydrogenated oils, all of that.
All the inflammatory oils.
But again, it's understanding that when I say what fat should I be eating, I'm not saying you have to be so rigid, so controlling over your food. It's just looking at the overall, zoom out, big picture. Over the year, am I eating a lot more canola oil than I am olive oil?
Am I eating a lot more olive oil than I am butter? Because then you're missing out on cholesterol.
Yeah.
We just want to teach you about food, so you know.
I teach you about food. It's not coming from a restrictive mindset. No. I eat out all the time. I love enjoying my food, but I'm also making sure that I'm not buying the rice cakes and that I am buying just the like organic sourdough bread and not the conventional white bread. Not that I'm against it, not that I'm gonna die if I eat it, but it's important to have, I like to call gentle nutrition. So having this idea of what is good for us, being gentle with it, it's not a hard set rule. But again, I'm not the type of eating disorder recovery coach who was like, I think you should binge on chocolate bonbons all day. I really understand the importance that good food has on, like we're saying, the mental health and our brain and our energy and our depressive levels, all that. Exactly. So anyways, I had to put in that caveat because I used to take these things really strict and really rigid, and I really just want to share that that's not what it's about, but it's about really just informing yourself on those foods that you have been neglecting to eat and add in because you're fearful because you read in X, Y, and Z book that the cholesterol is bad or something. So thanks for listening to that. Now you can continue on.
So what I want to hone in on here is that I have compiled all of the work I've done over 8 years of practice and put it into one concise online package. That's what we call it. So you ladies can go and find everything you would need for those first 2 years of healing and recovery and restoring nutritional deficiencies. And it actually goes through 5 different stages. So the first being restoring nutritional deficiencies, because before you do anything else, you have to do that, right? That's probably one of the most damaging effects to having an eating disorder. And then you're going to go through healing the gut, because your gut is just going to be so tossed and turned and distorted in so many ways. And then healthy hormones, both him and her, everything that goes with healthy hormones, adrenal health, PCOS, skipped periods, skipped menses, all of that is in that section. And then when you're healthy and you're strong and your adrenals are good, you're going to go through a detox, because that's another major problem in preconception care. We skip out on ever detoxing. Once you're pregnant, it's too late. You don't want to detox. It's going to go to your placenta. No good. And then you're going to start your baby whirl, and so you don't want to go backwards after that.
So with that, because that word detox can be like really triggering for people, but I hear that and I go, wait a minute, okay, this isn't a let me restrict myself, let me
not at all.
Let me just drink green juice
only
all the time. That's not that. And also I want you, so here's the expert saying that it's important to go through this, to go through these moments of cleansing and detoxing. You cannot do that if you have not built something up.
No.
So let me be very clear on that. The detoxing point is for those who are healthy and strong. This is another push for you to really go through recovery so that you can go through this whole process of like healthy conception. And
you can't detox when you're weak. You can't detox with just green juice at all. That's all fad. That's all nutrition mistake. Our detox involves meat. It involves butter. It involves a real diet. It involves more herbs and supplementation that actually just move your detox pathways. It involves supporting the 7 detox pathways in your liver. It's not trendy in any way, shape, or form. And it's actually what's going to help you and your future baby to come and your partner. So
I love how you're saying that. You're like, lots of butter and lots of meat. I did find that adding in butter to my diet was one of the best things for my constipation. Literally helped move everything through, especially ghee. I showed Dani my ghee. My ghee is like empty.
And mine's like this big.
Yeah. We use so much of that stuff. So again, we're not saying detox as in we're going to go on a 7-day fast to try and lose weight. That's the opposite. You don't want to try and lose weight before conceiving.
No.
You want to make sure that you have a good amount of reserves. So that detox is more just really honing in. You should say it's honing in on the good nutritious foods that you're eating.
That support your detox pathways.
Yeah.
Not to be limited, not to be weird, not to be crazy.
Yeah.
Hey guys, it's me and I'm editing the video right now, and I just wanted to pop in real quick to share some more thoughts regarding what we just talked about, the detoxing. So to be clear again, this detox at the end of Dani's program is not at all in any way, shape, or form a restrictive diet, a juice fast, a cleanse, or anything that you normally associate with the word detox. So I'll just quickly go over what she talks about in this section. She's talking about a lot of skincare products, beauty products, shampoo, conditioner, cleaning products, and all of that in our environment that have a lot of toxins in them, and the importance of getting those out of our environment so that we aren't absorbing a lot of these chemicals that we find in a lot of our products, say like lotions or makeup. So she's talking a lot about that because, yes, that is super important to make sure that we're not constantly lathering on our body all of these toxins that are just going to seep through. She also then goes and talks about the importance of really eating a nutrient dense diet. So it's not really a detox per se. What it is you just really focusing on these really nutrient dense foods. The egg yolks, the pate, the liver, the lamb chops, like all of that. So it's really focusing on eating a wholesome, very fresh diet. She talks a lot about organic and the importance of going organic. Again, this is all more so just reducing your chemical exposure and not like I'm gonna try and drink celery juice for a month. So I really felt like I had to come in here and clarify this because this is something that could be taken in the wrong way just because of the nature of that word detox. And that's it. So now let's continue on here.
Okay, so what you said that you saw a lot of kids that were really severely sort of malnourished, having a lot of issues and stuff, and those happen to be the parents who were vegan and vegetarian. Can you speak more on this issue and what or why you see this as being just really harmful to our fertility and to our overall health? Because how many of you guys, raise your hand, have been vegan, have been wanting to go vegan, especially after eating disorders? That tends to be the thing that we like to sort of hop on. I'll eat, but it has to be vegan. So what are some things that they should be really worried about if they are looking into a vegan diet or currently eating one?
So the nutritional deficiencies, like I was saying, biggest thing. And you're going to see the same ones in mom and the same ones in baby. And you're going to see major low cholesterol, which is going to result in a weak immune system and a very weak brain. Cholesterol is also a precursor to going out to make steroid hormones. So you're very unlikely to have a period without high enough cholesterol levels.
Which is why a lot of vegan YouTubers online, eating disorder or not, will go and say that they haven't had a period. Unfortunately, there are some people out there saying that that's good. That means that you're really clean. And oh, trust me, Dani, it's bad. I need to start doing more videos on this. So they say that like this is a good sign that you lost your period. It's because you've been detoxing, and it's good to detox. And a healthy woman doesn't need to release toxins via her menstrual cycle. Oh, trust me, it's so bad. But here's the thing, you guys, 18, 24, however old you are, even if you're older, we hear these things. You're young, you're impressionable. You hear that like Freely the banana girl is saying that having a period, I can't remember if it was her that said it, so if I'm dishing you under the bus, but there's a lot of other things wrong with Freely. But I'm sorry, need to call out the
don't even know who that is.
She's the banana girl. The like eat 80 bananas a day and that's it. Completely like fruitarian, raw vegan, and she claims to heal eating disorders too, which is just baffling to me. She's also like 40 years old and has no kids, so I don't know what's going on there. Yeah. But I mean that's okay. Not everyone wants to have kids, but you got to ask: is she maybe not able to have kids? But anyway, so they say that having a period is a toxic thing that us omnivores have.
Which is the exact opposite, because you don't want to be stagnant at all. Not in your bowels, not in your urine, and not in your flow.
And like how is it wrong when it's like that's what produced us? That's why we're here, because
that's why we're not going to go extinct.
This is where the vegans are living in this like
in a
world where you're in nirvana and we're in heaven and there's no need for procreation, there's no need for sexual drive or anything, because we're gonna float into the sky one day. Anyways, I got my thoughts on that.
After cholesterol, then B12. It's the most common deficiency that I see. And below 550 on a B12 blood level, you are going to have, always treat the person, not the lab, but you should be seeing some sort of neurochemistry imbalance and even symptom, because that is chronically low B12, meaning not last month, not the month before that, years you have had been suffering and struggling with a very low B12 level. Now, mind you, in a vegan diet, even most should be telling you, hope they are still telling you, there's nowhere you're getting it at all, anywhere.
No, stop it. They think that spirulina has enough. Or they think that we should just not wash our carrots and eat them off of the dirt.
Wow.
Never mind the fact that a cow gets B12 from eating the dirt because it's a ruminant animal and it has 4 stomachs where it can convert that B12. We can't. And it's unsafe to be just going out and eating a bunch of dirt.
No. We also have a genetic mutation called MTHFR where you cannot methylate B12. So you need to be getting it in massive quantities so that we're actually getting it. By the way, B12 and folate being the single most important nutrient pre-conception, so your baby doesn't have a major disorder of the skull and the brain in the first trimester, which is an unsurvivable condition, by the way. One simple thing, take a supplement of methylated folate and consume a diet, obviously, with plenty of animal food. That's where you're getting folate and B12.
Supplement. I think that's really important to understand that it is a supplement and add on to the already healthy diet. I personally religiously took B12 supplements, both cyanocobalamin and methylcobalamin, because I figured why not do both, because the research is a little unclear on which one's best. And at the end of my vegan journey, my brain health was always so off, guys. I always had a lot of brain fog, a lot of issues going on with my brain. But I also was starting to have a lot of tingling in my hands and feet.
Nervous system.
I have a lot of older clients, I'm talking about in their 40s and 50s, who have neuropathy and who have really dangerous side effects of being so low in B12 from being vegan for so long, or from just having a restrictive diet in general. What are our best sources for B12 here?
Animal food, all animal protein, any and all, mostly protein sources. Liver, if you could ever want to do it.
I love it. Well, pate.
Grass-fed meat. So yes, grass-fed beef, grass-fed lamb, grass-fed bison, any kind of organic or free-range turkey, but it's going to be your red meats. It's going to be your darker meats.
I love how you said that, because a lot of my clients, they go from, being vegan to the first thing they do is they add in chicken. And I'm like,
It's actually not as nutrient dense as red meat.
I really don't like chicken that much. You got to get in the steak. You got to get in
you need
the
heme-rich iron, which means it's the absorbable type of iron. And after B12, it was iron. Iron. We are deficient in our stores. We're deficient in our blood saturation. We're deficient in our hemoglobin and our hematocrits. We are deficient in our blood and in our soil, everywhere you can imagine.
So why do you think we're so deficient?
We're not consuming the very foods that we have for all of time to be getting enough iron in our diet. And you can lose your iron when you bleed, ladies. That's a healthy process, but you need to keep eating enough. Men do not have a problem with iron because they don't menstruate. We do. It's important, and it is healthy. It's critical. And we just need to keep the heme-rich iron sources coming into our diet. Plus, if you're not aware, maybe you're not, that you're going to nourish a growing baby one day, whether it's 4 or 5 years down the line, from your blood, literally, your placenta. And your blood supply feeds it. That's how you will feed your baby. You need strong blood. That's why the one labs that your doctor even does, beginning your pregnancy and end, is your iron, is your hemoglobin. And so you need strong blood years and years and years and years and years early. The other thing about nutritional deficiencies and getting them in store now is because when you get pregnant and you have a perfect little parasite, it is going to eat every nutrient level you have. It is hard to play catch up.
So in Chinese culture, they typically, or maybe not now, but used to, I know, typically want to wait like 2 or 3 years after having child before you have another, because it depletes you so much that having child after child after child just doesn't give the mother enough time to really build up.
And we teach a lot about that in all of our postpartum package and everything, because postpartum depletion is a very, very, very real thing. Preventable. Again, totally preventable.
Do you think, because this drives me insane when I see this, I see like the little memes on Instagram that it's like, why eat, beef when like broccoli has like the same amount of iron?
Different types of iron. Classic nutrition, different types of iron. You have non-heme iron found in plant food, and you have heme-rich iron found in animal food only. Heme-rich iron is the most bioavailable form. It means your body can actually utilize it well. Non-heme iron is not. It's very hard to break down and actually absorb. When you eat even some heme-rich iron, you get a factor called MFP. MFP is actually how your body helps absorb some non-heme iron. So without any heme-rich iron, you are barely going to absorb from your lentils and your kidney beans and kale, and I don't even know what other else.
Well, these superfoods, right? We hear all the time that kale is a superfood, and it drives me insane. So I'm like, back in the day, they weren't bringing home like the fatted broccoli. You're bringing home the fatted calf to feed the village. Like,
and you're using every part of the fatted calf, every single part of it. Yeah, kale will never make hormones. It will never make neurotransmitters. It will never help your fertility. It will never make an extraordinary healthy baby. That's the supplement on the side of your plate for the vitamins and the minerals, and it is actually better cooked, despite the trends. But it's the ghee, it's the grass-fed butter, it's the lamb, it's the grass-fed beef, it's the hearty, real, nutrient-dense food that's going to help with all the things I just listed.
And unfortunately, in the eating disorders, that tends to be the food that, whether you're vegan or not, you fear. Which is really unfortunate, because I want you guys to really, this is why I brought Dani on here, and why I'm also like introducing her course, because I looked through it and I'm like, wow, finally someone going out there and being like, woman, you should not have a salad for lunch every day. Salad's fine. I'm not just not, but I'm saying like, we need to also be eating meat. I think there's this idea that like only boys should have meat and bacon and eggs and all of that. And honestly, one of the biggest things that helped me in my journey from eating disorder to now like really recovered was eating 4 eggs every single morning. I still do it. 4 egg omelets. I absolutely love it, and I have my chickens are like out there.
Amazing.
But those foods I used to really fear, and now I'm just really seeing them as the staple. Not even as like, I'll add a little bit in and still mainly be plant-based. I am like, I choose my meats first, and then I choose the vegetables that will accompany the meat, and that's very much how I grew up too in a French household. We have like the main course being the scallops, being the veal, being the steak, whatever it is, and then you have 3 sprigs of asparagus. And my grandma used to always look at me and be like, Chloe, you shouldn't eat that many vegetables. It's imbalanced. I'm like, what the heck do you know? Like, I should be eating all this kale and broccoli and everything for breakfast. Like, and I finally, in my first time in my life, I'm understanding how vegetables are good. They're not like, they're not the amazing
saviors.
Yeah, they're not the saviors. Thank you. They're not this like amazing thing that they've been touted all over online. Like, add a little bit in, but I think the biggest thing is just getting in those good quality animal products. Sure, there's a problem with factory farming. We might be seeing a lot of disease and illness because of, you know, the high omega-6 to omega-3 ratios that we find in, like, say, factory farm chicken. So definitely knowing the quality of your products is important for, you know, for everything.
So, ladies, we are actually going to have a little series to come on all these topics in so much more depth and detail. And that's why we're introducing my package now, because if you have your package with you, which you can use it, you have it for a lifetime, anytime online, it's a login, it's a dashboard, it comes with all kinds of other fun goodies with it. But then you're going to be able to take in to the highest quality and ability, really, with so much efficiency, what we're going to be teaching in the series to come. So
and I think me and Dani really wanted to work together, and so I can be working with you guys more on the mental side of things, really helping you get through this, understanding how to overcome these fear foods. But then also Dani has just such a rich knowledge, and the course is really great. There's a lot of things in there just really helping you understand what foods are going to be the best for you to nourish your body with. Again, whether you want to have a child or not, it's getting your body to this healthy state. So I think it can be really helpful to hear from a nutritionist, for someone who's really educated in the nutritional background of things, to help you through this. And then along that side, working with me to really understand your relationship with that food, your relationship to your femininity, to, I know I used to not even want kids. that was a big thing when I was stuck in my eating disorder. I was like, I hate kids. I don't want to be around my nieces and nephews. I like never wanted to touch a baby. I was fine not having a period. But it wasn't until I actually restored myself back to health that all of a sudden I was baby crazy. Like so baby crazy. It's insane. So you may be thinking right now, I don't even want kids. What's with that? Get yourself to a healthy place.
Yes.
And then you can decide where, like, what you want at a place where you're thinking more clearly. Not saying that those who don't want kids aren't thinking clearly, but I'm just saying when you're malnourished, things change, your interests change, your desires for life change.
Yes.
I'm a completely different person after recovering. So
it's amazing.
I think it's really cool. If you guys want to take us up on that, definitely send me an email, contact.flowwithchloe@gmail.com. I'm also going to link down below just the sign up for Dani's course. Like she said, it's what, $149?
Yep.
It's $149, all sort of by yourself. Really
you
nice.
move through it at your own pace.
Has a lot of information in there. So I recommend, definitely getting the course if you're interested in perinatal care. You can also reach out to Dani for more information. And then we're going to do a little package here. So I'm definitely going to give, if you sign up for Dani's course, I'll give a discount for my coaching as well. That way you can sort of go through the course and go through my coaching at the same time. And that will be nice to have some sort of
huge gift.
Yeah, some talking back and forth, because it's one thing to hear like red meat's good for you, and then you sit down at the plate, and I know, guys, that's a different story. When it's like, oh shoot, I can't.
And we want you to love it. Yeah. We want you to love food and love eating that way and want to do it for years and years and years and years and years and years to come.
Yeah. So this was absolutely great, you guys. The next videos, we're going to be really diving into the cholesterol myth. We're going to be diving into
other B12 deficiency, more on the iron for sure. Way more details on all of these different topics.
Yeah, we're also going to discuss some of those fad diets out there and why it's really important just to go back to sort of basics and healing your relationship to food.
Yeah. You can also follow us on Happy Healthy Littles, or you can contact us at happyhealthylittles.com and we'll help you with anything.
Great. And you guys know where to find me, at Flow with Chloe. So this was great, Dani. Thank you so much. And thank you guys for listening. Please, I will be in the comment section, and maybe Dani will be as well. So ask me any of your questions and we will definitely make sure we get back to you. All right. Have a beautiful day, guys.